Hi, my name is Courtney and I'm from womenlivingwell.org. And after 50 videos and nearly 400,000 views on YouTube, I thought I have never shared my heart and my passion for Women Living Well Ministries. Where did that name come from? How did this all begin? Well, for me, my story begins back when I was just a child. I grew up in a strong Christian home where my parents loved each other and loved me and my two older sisters. They taught us how to walk with God, and my two older sisters have married godly husbands, and they are raising the next generation to walk with Him too. And so for me, I look at what did my mom do, and I even have my journal here from 1986 where she was teaching me how to write out my prayers and write out my memory verses and write out my quiet times. And she discipled me by even writing in my journals, "Who can you tell about Jesus, Courtney?" or "Good job, keep up the studying this week." She was cheering me on and challenging me. And so by the time I became a teenager, I had a desire that was born in my heart to take God's word into all the world. My desire was to become a missionary. I had gone to public schools from kindergarten through 12th grade, and I had had the opportunity to share the gospel many times. And I found great joy in that, and I thought, I want to be a missionary when I grow up. So off to the Moody Bible Institute I went. And after 4 years, I graduated, and I married my high school sweetheart. So I never became the missionary that I dreamed of being. Instead, I married my husband and I began women's ministry. I led Beth Moore Bible Studies and Kay Arthur Bible Studies and Elizabeth George Bible Studies, and I did Titus 2 workshops and went on retreats and did all kind of fun women's ministry things in my church for about a decade. And then I thought, I had been reading some blogs, that maybe I could try writing a blog. What would I name it? So I started thinking, and I thought, I just want to help women live well. I believe that women will live well when they drink from the living well, that is the living waters of God. I believe when we walk with God, it will change the entire course of our lives. And when I think of my little babies, they loved their pacifiers. And the word pacify means to stop agitation, to soothe, or to appease. And so when I gave this to my babies, they were soothed. And sometimes I think that we go through life being soothed by things that in the world. We use them to pacify us, maybe a cookie or a half gallon of ice cream, maybe buying a new outfit or a girls' night out, something like that. But really, if I never gave my babies milk, they would never be satisfied. Satisfied means to be full, content, all requirements met. And Ecclesiastes tells us that when we seek after worldly things and we pacify ourselves with money and with the things of the world, that the end result is painful unfulfillment. And in Psalm 63, David says, he says, "O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My body longs for you." And then in verse 5 he says, "My soul, when I have you, my soul will be as satisfied as with the richest of foods." I love how he compares having God with being satisfied with the richest of foods. When you think of Thanksgiving and you think of all the food that you eat, you have your turkey and your mashed potatoes and your gravy and your stuffing and your sweet potatoes and your corn and your roll and your pumpkin pie. And when you are done eating, you push back from the table and you say, "Full, content, all requirements met. We are satisfied." And David says, "God, when I have you, when I earnestly seek you, and I find you, I am satisfied with you." And that is what I see women living well, to help women find satisfaction in God. I sign every blog post, "Walk with the King." If you followed me, you've seen it every single day. Every single day I sign it, "Walk with the King." That little phrase is born out of Genesis 5 by this short little verse there that talks about Enoch. In Genesis 5 it says that Enoch walked with God and then he was no more. Poof! He disappeared from earth. And then Hebrews 11 explains it further, and it says that Enoch walked with God, and then he was no more, because his walk with God so pleased God that God took him up. And I think, man, I want to be like Enoch. I want to walk with God like that. But I'm reminded of the story of Matt Emmons. He was in the Olympics in 2004, and he was in the rifle contest. He was representing America, about to win the gold medal. All he had to do was aim at the target and hit the target. He didn't even need a bullseye. He just needed to hit the target. So he aimed, he fired, bullseye. Bullseye on lane number 2. The only problem was he was in lane number 3, and he had missed his target. He had aimed at the wrong target. He came in 8th place and lost his medal. Sometimes I feel like we as women are aiming at the wrong targets in life. We are reaching and grasping for the things of the world and pacifying ourselves with all the wrong things. And we're ending up at painful unfulfillment. And so I want to help women to really get that target right so that we can hit a bullseye, so that we can walk with the King. And so that is what Women Living Well is all about. It's all about journeying alongside of me as we walk with the King.